Hi, everybody. The idea and kind of going with this theme of what are we supposed to be doing for students, right? I think that gets lost in the areas of publishing. With research and publications, it seems to be focused largely on us as faculty. So my name is Derek Sedlack. I'm at Colorado Technical University. And even though my field is in cyber like everybody else, as a member of NSA and being a part of NSA since being a student in 2004, I'm trying to focus more on getting industry involved through students, right? Getting students involved with industry through research. So we have a primary problem when we're looking at research in particular, in that we have a strange view on what it should be, right? We really think that research is supposed to be this pinnacle of some kind of lifelong outcome, and the solution is supposed to be this either ephemeral or compilation of amazing thought through experimentation. And the answer is, well, yes, it is, but how do we get there? Right, that's the real question we're trying to understand, especially when we want to look at before the information age, before stuff was so readily available. The qualifications were graduate, and now you can take on a professorship. And if you look now, even just to become an assistant professor, everybody expects even an A journal, right? Have a big hit, have a big index on your chart, or else we don't even want to talk to you. And this was mentioned earlier with Dr. Chan, where she said, hey, we need to have high intensity research institutions be more accommodating and involved. And when you think about everybody else with the research institutions, right? Yair discussed that also and said, we need to have these centers, we need to have more collaboration and more integration. And this is the point of our issue with research. We have this funny demand right now, which is, okay, how are we supposed to be able to become good researchers? So initially we have to have this design, we have to have this understanding of ranking, right? That it has to be an important work, it has to be within the field that's a level of perfection is kind of what we're looking at right now. And we argue that's not the case. It doesn't require perfection. So if we're trying to understand, looking at training in particular, right? Professional associations are amenable at best. They associate us with others, but they don't teach us anything about research. They provide research avenues, but we really don't have access to them as starting people. We have these collegial components and admission through association where, oh yeah, do you want to be a part of this? Yeah, sure. Maybe I work on chapter 3, maybe I work on lit review, but it's not specifically inherent as a process. So we need to fix that. We need to figure out a way in order to determine how to facilitate students becoming researchers. Largely right now, unless you're at a research intensive institution that looks for a thesis at your grad level, you wait until a terminal degree path. And even then, really, it's only the doctoral pursuit of Ph.D. that is research intensive, right? If we want to look at an applied research degree or an applied graduate degree or master's, terminal degree, they have a project, but it's not really research intensive from that perspective, right? If you ask them questions about instrumentation, you ask them questions of ontology, it's not part of the discussion. So what are we supposed to do about that? When we talk about research, why does the word quality come in, right? Why do we have ABC journals from that perspective? And how do we, if we want to maintain this level, how do we get to that level? Do students graduate from an institution and magically become worthy of a qualification of an A journal? Or should they know somebody and happen to know what that journal is focusing on, know what the publication avenue is, and join up with somebody so they could hope to fit into that discussion? And the argument is, no, that shouldn't be the process. When we want to think about what is quality, we have to think about the basic question is, what are we really contributing to? Yes, contributing to our field and contributing to our blend of science is important. And it has meaning. However, there are graduate students that are doing lit reviews, that are doing surveys of certain topics, that are doing work inside of their company and publishing assignments. Why can't that also be of quality? Several years ago, I know Detmer Straub in MISQ noted that it's hard enough for us to read this research. How are we expecting people in industry to be able to read it? How does it help? If we can expand on some sort of theory or validated theory or solve a business problem, they're equally important, right, as conducting research in a very particular field to expand something that's theoretical. So we recommend two focused approaches. The first one is still have peer review, have an academically focused publication, but the publication really should be geared towards graduate students, even undergrad students that are overachievers, or that are in an institution that focuses on some sort of research. Even if we want to look at psychology, right? Psychology is a very research intensive avenue of study. So why aren't we including them? Why aren't we trying to help students get to a point where they can understand what is research that can be published? What is research someone can consume? And then from an industry perspective, they don't want to have to read a 3 or 4 page lit review. It doesn't make any sense. How can they digest it quickly? So the two proposals are, even in the academic setting, having a small section that is an implementation recommendation. Whatever you're doing, you're recommending to industry, hey, here's what you could do to solve your problem. If we just go back to one of the previous discussions of social engineering. What do companies do about social engineering? Yeah, we talked about it and you showed this list and this tool. That would scare the hell out of most people, right? There are thousands of different options in which they're supposed to look at, and thinking that this data is of themselves and out there and available. And we're all connected directly to it. But let's assume most people don't know that. They would be freaked out. So what are they supposed to do about it? Are they supposed to read a 12-page paper and be able to digest it? Or can they have something that's more focused and more specific? So the recommendation here is to look at students at any level and have them be engaged. Not only have them be a part of the publication process of submitting papers, but be a part of the publication process where they get to be a guest editor, where they get to take part in reviews, where they get to do things and really understand what's going on. And if we do this, if we follow a path of helping our students become interested and encouraged in research, then by the time they go into a terminal degree program, I think we'll be better off in the long run, and it'll meet the needs of our industry right now. In academia, we're asking for more and more and more of people starting their careers, and it's difficult. Okay, please do contact me. And if you have any students that want to submit papers, really, any paper that is written properly, it just has to have structure and it has to have support, and that's it. Please do contact me for avenues of publication or interest in getting students engaged in the publication process.